What's up, everybody? I'm Tim,
I'm Chris.
and this is Evil Penguin Games. So today, we are actually going to play Brutality.
I am so excited. We did an unboxing for it a little while ago, and we are finally going to play it. Full disclosure, we have played it a couple times to get the rules kind of down, but it is going to be, a little bit. I am 2-0, by the way. We've played it twice. I've won every time. The streak continues today. But it's a kind of 2 to 4 player arena style combat game. Pretty quick. The couple rounds we played to kind of get used to it lasted. Once we, the second one lasted maybe about half an hour at most. And it's super fun. It's kind of split up into a couple different phases, which we'll kind of show you as we go through and set up the board. But I can talk about it all night. So why don't we just start playing it?
All right, sounds good. Let's set her up.
Let's do it. Alrighty, here we go. This is us playing Brutality. I am very, very excited. So, first thing you do when you start up a new game, you pick your characters, of course. I am playing the Ronan, the Gravekeeper, and the God Killer. My absolute favorite character since he doesn't actually have a real name. Tim, are you playing?
I am playing with Sadie Ironcrest, the Bloodwood Warden, and Astaral, the Assassin.
Right. So you start any game by placing your heroes in each corner. So they always start... I don't know which way he faces. Alright. But they always start in the same place. So it's a pretty easy setup on that part. Then each player gets a chance to place one trap. The trap can't be placed in this row or the row right in front of them. So you can't start the game by saying, hi, you can't move. So go and go.
I'm always a fan of fire.
Alright. And I think I've chosen it every time. I just absolutely love the spike wall. It's just impassable. You can't move through it, and if you get thrown into it, it hurts like the dickens. So you placed your trap first. So I will choose. So the rules are a little kind of iffy, and I think it kind of depends on you. But we always choose the relic cards at random, just for that little extra fun. Okay.
Alright.
Alrighty. I cannot pick these up. There we go. So, and each one, so basically I know in the unboxing I talked about how the story was that they're supposed to be Overwatch with, on a board game. These basically end up being your ults. So I get, and any player can know them, so I got the Ghost King Ring. Move your opponent 2 spaces in any one direction and apply 1 damage to the attacked opponent. And then the Rotting Saint Fist. Reduce 1 enemy hero movement speed by 1 and cause 1 damage to the same hero. What did you get?
I got the Temporal Dagger. Switch spots with an enemy or teammate within 3 spaces in any direction. And the Ancient Aegis. Shield this hero and reduce damage taken by 2.
Alright. Now, these do have a cooldown on them. You can see on the back here there's 3 skulls. They come with these little tokens. You use it. You place it over the 3 or the 1 if you want to count down or count up. And then just every time it is your turn, it goes down by 1. So, in theory, you use it, flip it, put 1 on. Hey, it's my turn again. Boop. Hey, it's my turn again. Boom. And then on the next turn, I can flip it over and use it again. So they are equipped to individual heroes. So if that hero dies, you do lose that item. But if they get revived by... there are cards in there called OP cards, which are basically just like, this just works now. They come back with the same cooldown. So it's nice to... don't just pack up a hero when they're dead, because you may need them again here in a second. So, and I think that's everything. You draw one of these cards every turn. So I placed my traps. Yeah, why don't we go first? Something I did want to mention. Sorry, not to interrupt you. I know I mentioned it in the unboxing video that I absolutely love these little tokens or these little trackers. We immediately found out they just
They start to damage the cardboard.
Immediately. We've only played it once, and you can kind of see. I don't know if I can get it on camera very well, but the bottom, I don't think you can see it, but it's just like
It bends up
ribbed
the
now.
cardboard.
Yeah. So
Yeah, highly recommend just putting them on top or keeping track on paper.
yeah, we did paper last time, and it's great because also there's a lot of like health going back and forth. Like when we played last time, like one character just went like 17, 18, 17, 18, 16, 18, 17, 15. Like it just jumps back and forth so much. So, alrighty. So why don't, like I said before, why don't you go first?
Alrighty, so I'm going to get to move my two heroes, and they have specific ways they can move. So I'm going to take Sadie Ironcrest, the Blood Warden, and I'm going to move 3 spaces forward. 1, 2, and 3.
And something I don't think we mentioned is you get 2 actions per turn. Moving is 1, and then your skills, I guess is what they're called, are 1. You can't do the same action twice, but you can attack twice using 2 different actions. Your ghost rings don't do anything. Also make sure to draw your card. These cards also do not count towards your action skills, so you can play them whenever on your turn, or also there are ones that say they happen kind of at any time. So, sorry.
Alright, and so for my second character here, the cool thing about the assassin is she can move in any direction. So I get to move diagonal 1, forward 1, and we'll even go diagonal again. She's going to warm herself by the fire. And then I will pass turn.
Alright, so my turn. I will draw a card. Neat. I will hold on to that. I don't really have a choice, I will always hold on to it. So I will start by just imposing my God Killer immediately forward, moving him forward or to the right. 1, 2, 3. Everyone's nice and cozy by the fire. On the other hand, I'm going to move my Grave Keeper. 1, 2, 3. And so I've already moved, so I can use his first attack, which is Buried Alive. The Gravekeeper moves 2 lines. I cannot read upside down. I'm going to flip this for myself real fast. The Gravekeeper moves 2 linear spaces, either front, back, left, or right, and buries enemies that occupy those spaces. Buried Alive causes 1 damage to an enemy. If he is standing on a buried enemy, that enemy will take another 1 damage. So I'm going to move forward 2. 1, 2. And now Sadie is buried alive. And I have a token for that. So that is Sadie right now. So you take 1 damage for being buried alive.
Okay.
And that will end my turn.
So how do I become unburied alive?
That is a very good question. I don't know. It says right here. Buried enemies that are buried alive must spend 1 MS, so move space, to dig themselves out or suffer 1 damage. So basically, I inflict 1 damage on you, and then you have to basically sacrifice a movement to get out.
Okie dokie.
Just 1 of your overall movement. So that would leave Sadie with still 2 moves that she can do.
Okay. Alright, so my turn?
It is your turn.
Alright, so I'm going to draw my card for turn. And then I am going to dig myself out of the grave. Well, I gotta take 1 damage first, right?
No, you only take 1 damage if you choose not to that turn.
Oh, okay. So
why you would
choose not
to stay buried alive, I don't know. Since the way that this character does a lot of his damage, if you're buried alive, he shoves a shovel into the ground and keeps you that way. So
okay. So She has then dug herself out of her grave.
Alright.
I am going to then use hurtling devastation. I am going to... Sadie's going to throw her sword 3 spaces through you, and then using the telekinetic powers of her son, pull it back, doing another damage. So that's a total of 2 damage.
Alright, 2 damage.
On your Gravedigger.
1, 2. Something we will do too, all of these characters have just some of the coolest lore out there. And yeah, if you check them out any way you can, it's just... God Killer is basically the meme man too angry to die. So...
And then I should still have 2 moves with her. So move 1, 2.
Okay.
Then with the assassin, we are gonna throw some daggers.
It'd be great if you didn't.
Well, just maybe. So okay, so I'm gonna throw daggers 3 spaces in front of me.
Alrighty.
Or am I? Wait a second.
Waiting.
If it's 3, so then I would have to. Would I be able to?
With something like this, it's any of those spaces, I believe. I believe in the second it says that if there are any enemies in that line, they will take damage.
Okay, so yes, I will throw some daggers, and I'm gonna go for your hand right here.
Oh, not my sword.
So
That's my god-killing hand.
all right, so that is for 3 damage.
Alrighty, 3 damage. Okay.
Then I am going to move her 1, 2, and 3 spaces back.
I'm going to, before you do that, I'm going to use my Rotting Saint's Fist to reduce 1 enemy hero movement speed to 1.
Now, here's where I'm going to use a card that I drew.
Okay.
It says, I think not. Your opponent cannot use relic cards. Oh, nope. I got that absolutely wrong. Pay close attention to the cards. They say when you can use them. So,
I know what card he is, everybody.
Yep.
It's just 1 movement speed and 1 damage. Just take it.
So, okay, so I do have one. This is what I wrote. So,
Alright.
stop an opponent's artifact usage for 1 turn. You can use it after your next turn. So, I was able to play the card.
Alright.
So, haha. Yes.
Okay. So, you continue unaccosted for now.
Alright, and that is my turn.
Alrighty. So, I will draw a new card. Choices. Alright. So, I am going to move back 1. And again, going to cast, I guess, Buried Alive. Again, why don't you go ahead and stay down there. But since I land on that space, since I move 2, you take an additional 1 damage. So you take 2 damage overall.
Okay.
And I'm going to add Savage Brutality, which is add 2 damage to 1 special attack of your choice.
Nice.
Nope. That is just another added 2 damage to you. Like I think we said before, each turn is just a series of really, really mean turns and really bad stuff until it's your turn. So, right. So I'm then going to also use my Ghost King Ring, and that is move your opponent 2 spaces in any direction and apply 1 damage to the attacked opponent. And I will then throw on cooldown. So come back. 1, 2. I'm not done with you. So go ahead and take 1 damage.
Okay.
Now, something else to note with the characters, the way they are facing does matter. Since the God Killer takes up 2, if I were to move forward 1, he would just take fire damage. You cannot move sideways. You can only face them forward or backwards. So, no matter what in this situation, if I were to just barrel straight ahead, I would take fire damage, or I can do the shimmy, move myself 1, and then move forward 1. Thus putting him in range of my favorite, Brutal Impact, where basically I get to just slam you with my shield and move you to 1 tile of touching me, which is then going to be here. So you take 2 damage from the attack, and then 1 damage so that you on fire.
You know what? That's fair.
Alrighty, and that will end my turn. So.
Alrighty. So I'm gonna draw my card.
Well, he reads that. Just something to note. She has the ability to jump over opponents. All opponents except for one opponent in the game, who just happens to be the God Killer. He has the tank attribute, so people can't jump over him. So
It's almost like he's OP.
it's almost like there's an entire expansion that is just basically built to fight him, which you don't own yet.
Yet is the key word.
Yeah.
Alright, so I am going to try to dig myself out of the grave here. So
Actually, don't know how that works.
So I'm assuming you push to one side.
Yeah, while you do that, I'll pop the rule book out, because that is something we actually have not dealt with yet. Let me see. We're going to go with that as what happens now, and I'll just say and edit if it is anything.
Alrighty. So then we are going to use Dead God Slayer with Sadie. A massive sword slash that carries Sadie forward 3 spaces, and slice carries through the enemy, except for tanks. And if I land on this spot, it will carry through it'll knock them back. But we're just gonna go 1, 2, and 3 here, dealing 1 damage to your Gravedigger.
Alrighty. 1 more damage.
Then we are going to move with the assassin. 1, 2, and we are going to throw some more daggers at him. So just 3 daggers right there at the God Killer.
Alrighty. Sorry, I'm looking at what my other one does, and I will do that when I put the card back down. Okay. Alrighty. 2 damage. Alrighty.
3 damage.
3 damage.
And then
I know how numbers work.
that is my turn.
Alrighty. So, I will move my cooldown tracker by 1, draw a new card. You can't see Tim's face right now, but he's ready to play something against me. Okay, I just draw my card.
Alright. At the beginning of my opponent's turn, I am going to play Damning Counterattack. Now, any damage that Chris inflicts on my heroes will also apply to the attacking party. If this kills all remaining heroes, the game ends in a draw.
I'm going to play mine.
What is yours?
No, that's what it's called. Mine.
Oh.
Steal and use an enemy's card when they play it.
Well, I mean, it does nothing.
It does nothing. Correct.
Very well then.
Because no one tries to take the God Killer's damage away from it. Okay.
You win this round.
I do what I can. So, then what we will do is, I just really don't want her above ground. So, we're going to go ahead and, where did I move where did you move my,
Your tombstone is right there.
Well, it's actually your tombstone. As I, boop, and so 2 more damage. Thus also giving me the ability to give you death from below. The Gravekeeper violently stabs his spectral sword into the ground beneath him, and his spectral sword.
Wait a second.
Waiting.
You moved, and
I didn't move. Buried Alive moves me 2 spaces.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Spectral blasts undead energy for 2 spaces forward, left, right. Each space takes 1 damage. Enemies buried alive below him will take 2 damage. So you take 2 damage. It's not an additional 2, it is just 2 damage.
Okay. And I am going to use my artifact and reduce damage by 2.
Okay.
So flipping my artifact and putting a cooldown counter on it.
Okay. So you will still... Yeah, so you will take the original 1 damage from me burying you. But that is it.
Okay. Sadie is taking a beating.
She has. But don't worry. All's fair in love and me beating you. So I'm going to cast the long range card. Add 1 extra space for hero to extend their attack range. So I'm going to then use that on him, of course, to then make brutal impact 1 space larger. You going back in the fire. So that's going to be 2 more damage and then 1 for the fire. Then, since that's only an attack, I will do Shield Blast, which I swear I read and still do not fully understand. So I'll read it out loud. This causes 2 damage if the players are in the attack range. Knock back enemies up to 2 spaces for the first row hit, and 1 space for the row behind that with a powerful blast of energy from his relic shield. Okay, so all that's saying, it isn't. I was wondering how the damage is calculated. You basically will just take 2 more damage and be knocked back 2 spaces. So, boom, boom.
And 2 more damage.
2 more damage to the assassin.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Alright. Alright, my guys they're not feeling good right now.
Tim, is this announcing that it is now your turn?
It is my turn.
Alrighty, Rotting Saint's Fist.
Oh. What does that do?
Not as bad as it sounds. Just going to reduce your movement speed by 1 and deal 1 damage. And I really don't want her out of there, so we're just going to... She's going to get out, but
so
she's not going to be
dealt another damage?
She's dealt another damage.
And reduce speed by 1.
Please, don't get up.
Yeah.
Have a seat.
Well, I guess it's a little late for this now, but I'm gonna play my card. I think not that you knew I had. Your opponent can't use relic cards next turn.
Now,
sucks for them.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Right,
and
so,
something to note. They all do have little sayings on the bottom. I'll try to remember to say those as so.
All right. So with her 2 movement speed left, she is going to dig herself out. Just get off of me. You know.
I'll take that. There you go.
Alrighty. Then, what to do here? She's
probably cold from being underground. She should probably just move
closer to the fire. Just,
I would say just for
hypothermia.
She has
terrible.
She has a child.
She's just looking out for the child. This
Telepathic godchild. Did you say God? Have I got a character for that?
Let's take a moment and just take a. There's some interesting dark characters here.
There is very much.
So,
like, quick intermission on the actual gameplay. But yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So Sadie is going to use hurtling devastation at the dude that keeps putting her in the ground. That is going to throw a sword behind him and then pull it back for 2 damage.
2 more damage. It's amazing what the difference between 15 damage and 13 damage looks like on these sliders. Like 15 damage, you're like fine. 13, like, ooh, that's getting kind of low. Like,
you know. Then I am going to move the assassin here 1, but then I'm going to do visceral pounce.
that sounds horrifying.
So Astaral is going to leap acrobatically 2 spaces in front onto him to deal 2 damage and knock back the enemy 1 space. So she is going to jump over Sadie onto the Gravedigger, knock him back 1, and deal 2 damage.
Alright.
And my cooldown counter is going to go on 1, and it is your turn.
Alrighty. So this will come off cooldown. That will go to 2. Alrighty then. So I will draw my card. Alrighty. I don't know if you know, like, I don't know if you kind of realize yet, these cards that we draw are insane sometimes. So let us. Well, I appreciate you, by the way, because she's felt this before, but your assassin hasn't, and I didn't grab another one because I really only thought I'd be able to do one. But I'm gonna move 2 spaces and bury everybody first. Now, sorry. Boom, boom. We're gonna go ahead and put a grave right underneath, and we'll just. There are other ones, but I don't want to switch for them. We're just gonna use like a zombie hand. We're gonna put them in the same direction because direction matters for certain characters. I don't think they really matter too much for you since you have omnidirection. There's only a couple characters that can only move like diagonal forward and like straight back. So, but yeah, that's really gonna be it. I can't do much to them when they're underground. So
Any damage dealt?
yeah, yes. Sadie will take 2 because she gets buried, and then 1 additional, and then she is going to take 1 as she is just buried. So it is now your turn.
Okay. God Killer's not going to do anything?
You know what? Why don't we? Why don't we go 1, 2, 3. We'll just get it close.
Alrighty. So, I'm going to draw my card for this turn. I'm going to move my cooldown tracker. And I am going to cry quietly. Okay. So, we are going to boot this guy off of us. Claw out from the grave. That's Miss Sadie. Then I'm trying to think of a way I survive this, but I'm just not seeing it. We're gonna throw our sword again, and we're gonna throw a sword through and boomerang it back for 2 damage.
Okay.
And then the assassin is going to dig out as well, and whatever, she's gonna jump. We're gonna kill somebody if we can, in knocking him back.
That's 2 damage, correct?
That is 2 damage. Okay. And unfortunately, that is going to be my turn.
Alrighty. Move my cooldown counter by 1. Draw 1. Huh. Alright. Just for the sake of, I've got it, why not play it? I'm going to play Relic Exchange. You take a random card from your opponent's deck and give them this one in return, or yours in return. Yeah, there's my 1. Oh, perfect. Okay, so you know what I have. So what I'm gonna do is, let's do this in the correct order here. Alrighty. So I'm going to 1. I think it's all on Dix. And then I'm going to use Shield Bash again, so dealing 2 damage to both of them because they are in the attack range, pushing everybody back because when a player hits another player, boop, 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 they get pushed. I'm then going to rebury you. Alright, and here, ending here. Alrighty. So dealing 1 damage to the assassin and then 2 to Sadie.
Okay.
And gonna hit you with that death from below. Just making sure enemies buried alive below him. So I'm assuming that means only the one right here.
Mm-hmm.
So you
Which
both
is Sadie.
You both take 1. Sadie takes 2, Sadie takes 2. The assassin takes 1.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay.
That's gonna be my turn.
That is going to be your turn.
Oh yes, that's gonna be great.
Goodness. Okay. So we are going to dig ourselves out. Oh yeah, I need to draw a card. I always forget I gotta draw a card. Okay. Okay. So they are back as such.
Long time no see.
So we get to do a couple things here.
How much health does Sadie have?
1.
Okay. Before you do anything, I'm gonna play Ghost King Ring. Moving you 2 spaces and dealing 1 damage.
And that's a play on a...
That is an any turn cooldown.
Oh, so where she's moved and...
She would move somewhere, and let's just move her. I mean, I don't want to put a gravestone on fire, so yeah, why not? We'll just,
Okay, Sadie's dead.
Okay.
Not cool, dude. So... I'm gonna make the assassin jump on him. And then knock back the god killer in him. Oh, take that. Because I bounced him into the god killer.
Yeah, so.
And your grave digger takes 2 damage. And that's all I have. That's all I've got.
Okay.
This is the death throes.
It is. Alrighty. And let's see. I'm gonna play Swift Mobility because why have cards in your hand when you're done? Move the God Killer, boop, down 1, and then 1, 2. Guess I really didn't need to move that, but hey, what are you gonna do? Counting is hard, everybody. How much health does she have?
She has 2.
2, perfect. So then I will play Brutal Impact, pick you up, and drop you right here for 2. Just neatly,
Neatly stack the corpses
neatly
on the
stack the
fire
bodies,
path.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
So that is 1, 3 and 0. 2, that is Brutality in a quick kind of nutshell. You can see it's a pretty quick game, especially if you have the God Killer. No joke. He is very he is balanced very weird, as in there isn't anything he really can't So, as far as I can tell, he's one of the only characters that doesn't have a mobility attack. So, the nice part about Sadie is she has the ability to kind of pop around the map real fast and things like that to kind of get her out of situational combat and stuff like that. And then the assassin has the ability to jump and stuff. The issue is the God Killer just cannot be jumped over. Absorbs damage if enemy and teammate. Absorbs damage if between enemy and teammate. Didn't even notice that. So anytime that you try to attack and I'm here, the guy just takes no damage. So I guess that's his thing. If you line it up right, you deal double damage to him.
Yeah.
In theory.
Now, there is 3 expansions. We're just playing off of the core game here. There is 3 expansions, one of which has another, they call it a tank.
Yep.
God Killer is a tank. There's another tank one, and then a few other characters that go along with it.
Yeah, when you get the core book, there is in the manual they do actually list all of the characters, even the expansion characters, I believe. So you do kind of get a feel for what the other characters are going to be. The game has been out for a little while, so there are a lot of they already have the expansions kind of printed in the core rule book per se. But yeah. So that was was very. I honestly, this is one of, if not my, my favorite games so far, and that could just be because we haven't fully or not even tried yet Jurassic Park, but.
Yeah, so a fun little arena game, easy to learn, pretty, like we played it a few times and got a pretty good grasp on it.
Yeah. So,
if you liked what you saw today and you want to see more, let us know in the comments. Tell us if you'd like to see us play more games. Like, comment, subscribe, all those fun things. Don't cross the God Killer there, Go down to the links below. If you want to take one step further in helping us, you can donate to and become a patron. Patron/Evil Penguin Games, and just help us get content out there and just have fun playing games, support the community.
But here's the big question: if you want to see Tib get his butt kicked again in Brutality, let us know. If you want to see me go 4-0, that'd be great. So.
Whatever. We're buying it. We're buying the expansion, and he doesn't get to be the only
tank versus tank. Hey, now remember, I did win the last one with no tank, so
that's fair.
All right, everyone, guys. You have a great one.
Have a good one, man.